Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a serious problem here. I've been deer hunting, for a couple of months here on the property, and I went out to my stand yesterday, and my lever action Marlin 336 locked up on me. So kind of sad. I'll tell you a story about this gun at the end of the video, but let me show you what we got. This is a dangerous situation I've got, because the lever is locked right here. The hammer is back, and I did that after it locked up, trying to get it unlocked. But the real danger is this thing is loaded. I've got a round in the chamber, I've got rounds in the feed tube, the hammer's cocked. So I've really got to figure out what happened here, and hopefully get this thing safely unloaded and fixed. So let's get started. So you're going to be on that side of the camera. I'm going to be on this side. I think, now there's nobody over there. This thing is loaded, hammer cocked. So I'm going to put something here to hold this hammer back while I'm working on this thing, but it looks like there's some, I see brass, so it looks like the feed tube is pushed around back here and locked up the action. Like I wasn't even hunting or anything. I was going to my stand, climbing under a barbed wire fence, and when I passed through the fence and got back, picked my gun up, this was in this position. As you can see, it's supposed to be closed. The hammer was closed, but something caught, jammed up. I don't know what happened, but it looks like this round is pushed back. So I'm going to get some screwdrivers here and start prodding around, but first I want to secure this hammer back so I don't accidentally fire this thing through my wall. It's not the ideal thing, but that's what I'm going to try. So like I said, that way is safe. There's nothing over there but my workbench and the wall. Actually, my boat is over there, so point it that way. Really not going to try to fire my gun through the wall. But so what I want to try to do is push this round. Normally I think you can see the edge of the round, but it looks like it's pushed back that way. So I don't know if I need to try to take these out. There's a screw up here at the end of the barrel. This is the tube that holds all the rounds. Maybe I can take this screw out and unload it from this end. Unload the whole gun. Let's try that. I've never had this gun apart. This is a Marlin model 336, and it's 35 caliber. So kind of a rare. Usually these there's the spring. Usually these, most of these Marlin 336s are in 30-30 caliber. I'm sure you've heard of 30-30, but this one's 35 Remington, which is a little different. So, okay, I hear the rounds. I don't want to point it right at my face. But at least I've got them now with that spring out. I've got them away from the feed gate. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that and see if I can get this lever to close. What does this one do here? Okay, that's tight. It's tight. These are all a little bit loose. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to take the lever off completely. Let's try that. Okay, since it's closed, that doesn't want to come out. Okay, I've just loosened all three of these screws here, which I have no idea what they do, to see if I can get this. There we go. Okay, progress. Oh, look at that. There's the round, the live round right there. Makes me feel so much better. Okay, so let's get that out of there first and foremost. Let's see if I can just put the lever back on here. There we go. Oh boy. All right, now the gun is safe, clear, nothing in the chamber. So what caused this to lock up that way? It is probably almost a 50-year-old gun. I need to check the serial number and see if I can date stamp this gun, but I'm sure it's at least 45 years old, maybe 50, maybe more. Okay, there's the hammer, or the lever. I got the lever out. Now you can take the bolt out. That needs to be cleaned, I'm sure. Look at that. Hand, I don't know if you can see that. Hand-scribed serial number on there. 954ZZ, it looks like. Yeah, that needs to be cleaned. Since I've got it all apart, I'm going to do a good cleaning on this thing. So, looks like, just hope I can get it back together. I'll look down the barrel. Oh yeah, the barrel is pretty dirty. So, all right, let me go get my my cleaning gear. We'll come back. I'm going to clean this all out, oil it up, and see if we can get it back together. We'll be right back. Alright, we're back, guys. I don't have any bore cleaner, but I got some rim oil. I do have bore cleaner, I just got to go in and get it. But before I do that, I just lubed up the gun here, and I was able to pull out this. I was able to hold the feed gate down. Let me get that extractor. Okay. I was able to hold this feed gate down and tilt the gun and then get out all the rounds. So I think this is I don't know if it's a problem. I don't know what's going on here, but my bullets are all chewed up, and you can see I've got one different style bullet there. So these are all 35 Remington, but this one's obviously different. So I don't know if that was part of the problem. I don't know if there's something internal. So let me keep working on it. And now that it's safe, all the rounds are out, I got it oiled up here. I'm gonna do some more probing and see what I can find. Be right back. Alright, guys, before I go in and get my bore cleaning stuff, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this thing completely apart. So this turns into a fix this problem. So let's take this thing completely apart. Now, I've never done this, so I'm learning as I go here, but you saw me take the this out. So I finally got it freed up, got all the rounds out of it, got the hammer closed. So I'm going to go ahead and take this whole thing off. First, this bolt down here, just a flathead screw. Right here, it's holding the wooden foregrip on. Then you got a long screw on this band right here, just a flathead screw, kind of a long screw. So take that off. That frees up the band that holds the foregrip on, and then there's a screw. This screw here, down here on the end. The second band. So I took that out. Now at that point you can slide. Now if you have a sling attachment, I also took my sling attachment off. It's an Allen that holds that onto the round tube here. Once that's off, you can slide off the foregrip and the tube. And that's the plug that the spring pushes on to push your rounds into your chamber. That goes in there. So tube, ring, foregrip. Just going to leave that on. I guess you could take the front side off and slide this off if you want, but I'm just going to leave that on. I just want to get in here and clean everything into this down there. I want to clean this grime and gunk out of this action. So I'm going to take that apart. You can see all the crusties in there. It's just crusted up. So I'm going to go get my bore cleaner, clean all this stuff out, and then we'll put this back together. We'll be right back. I've got this thing all torn apart here, and I didn't have any bore cleaner, but I got shotgun cleaner. So this is pretty much the same thing. I'm going to be spraying it in here. This just kind of breaks down the carbon. We'll let that soak in for a minute. Clean all these parts off. surprisingly, this thing is not that dirty to be as old as it is, and I've never taken it apart, and I've had it for, well, let me tell you the story. So, this gun, I wholeheartedly believe was given to me by my grandfather when I was about 12 years old. Now, why I say it that way is because I'm not 100% sure. What happened, my grandfather gave me a 35 Remington Marlin 336, just like this, gold trigger, exact same gun, I believe, when I was about 12 years old. He was not a big hunter, and he had won the gun in a contest of some kind, so he knew I liked to hunt, and he gave it to me. It was my first high-powered rifle, and I cherished the gun. About 3 or 4 years later, sometime around 16, 17 years old, someone broke into my mother's house, my house, and stole this gun, my gun. That's pretty much all they stole, is the gun. And it was never found. However, we kind of knew that growing up in a real small town, kind of knew everybody in town, and heard through the grapevine that this guy that we knew, everybody knew it was a neighborhood, troublemaker, had stole the gun and sold it or pawned it to a known drug dealer in the area, and that was the story. So, fast forward about, 15 years later, my stepdad had showed me this gun he had bought at a local pawn shop. And when back up a little bit, when this gun was stolen, my mom was divorced, single mom. My stepdad wasn't in the picture, but he had bought this gun at the local pawn shop and was showing it to me, and I just immediately knew this was my gun that my grandfather had given me and that had been stolen. But no way to tell. I didn't have serial numbers. We didn't think to record serial numbers or anything like that back then. And I'm still 99.9% sure this is the same gun. So fast forward another couple years, my stepdad gave this gun to me for Christmas, because I think he kind of knew too. But regardless, that is the story of the Marlin 336 35 Remington, and I have a lot of sentimental ties to this gun, even though there's a chance it's not the original gun that I shot my first deer with, that my grandfather gave me. However, if it's not the exact gun, it's the same model, and both of my kids have used this gun to shoot their first deer as well. So it has a lot of sentimental value. So that's the story. Now let's oil this thing up and see if I can get it back together. All right, we're back, and I've got the parts all laid out here, and I got my cleaning rod, so I got everything cleaned up as best I can. Now we're going to oil it up and put it back together, I hope. But this is the perfect time to clean the barrel because the bolt's out, so I can get the some oil down into the barrel. Clean out years of dust and debris. Push it all out the end here. Looks clean. Put it back together. Bolt cleaned up. Now I didn't take this thing down as far as you can. I'm sure you can take this extractor off, the firing pin out. I'm sure there's a lot more breakdown you can do on this gun. You can take the trigger out. I'm not going to go that far. So I don't know if I'd ever get it back together, honestly. I'm pretty confident at this point that I know how everything goes back. So before I get too far off, this right here is probably the going to be the hardest part to get back in. This little extractor, there's a little round head right here, and that is going to have to go inside the action, and that little round head goes into this hole right here, this top hole. So that's going to be kind of hard to get back in place, but I think I can do it. First, let's go ahead and get the tube. All this back together. Got ahead of myself there. So you got to put this tube in the keeper here, and then this foregrip needs to be up here, and you can slide it all back together. That's how you got to do it. Okay, I got to put it all on at the same time. There we go. Now I can put this on. I need to tap this down in place a little bit. This goes up here a little closer. Large hole. Get the screw. And that's back. Now let's put the bolt. I think it goes this way. Or is it this way? Yeah, that way. But first, the extractor. So I think that's what that is. So let's get that in there. Oh, I got it first try. So the little knob is sticking out the hole on the other side. Hold that in with my finger. There we go. Now we got to get the lever back in. down in there. Gotta have the bolt about halfway out, it seems, before you can get the lever back in place. Like that. Okay. Lever screw. All right. Moment of truth. Yes. It's clear. I've just had it apart. There's nothing in the Okay. Let's go deer hunting. Now I read up in some causes of the lever locking out like this. Some of the causes were the inconsistent or too short bullets being too short, pushing too far back and getting jammed. So that might have been the cause, but I've shot these for years. I've shot both of these for years and years. So I think more than likely my problem was these screws right here were loose, because each one of them were about, you know, half a turn, quarter of a turn loose when I started. So I think that was the case. Man, everything feels so much tighter. Everything's torqued. I didn't look up the torque specs and all that, but you know, make them tight. All right. That's going to do it, guys. I got my gun back in service. It feels really nice. And since I didn't take the scope off, everything stayed the same. Barrel, scope, action. I don't think I need to sight it in or anything again. I'll maybe put one downrange and see what it does, but I'm so happy. Okay, I got 3 rounds in the action here, or in the tube. One's in the chamber. Let's say we fired it. Ejection, reload, ejection, reload, ejection, reload. All good. All right, now all I gotta do is go shoot it. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.